Hey guys, Mario here with Junkremovalmoney. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about starting a dumpster rental business in 2024, going into 2025. These are the things that I believe you need to know before you start your business. Now, this is my opinion after helping hundreds of dumpster rental businesses get started, as well as junk removal businesses, as well as owning my own junk removal company and dumpster rental business. There's going to be a lot of different opinions online. These are just my opinions, and I'm making this list so I can help you guys get started on the right foot. So the first thing I think you need to do before you start your dumpster rental business is to look into all the local laws in your area and make sure that you're actually allowed to own and operate a local dumpster rental business. Some cities, like for example, City of Dallas, Texas, has a local ordinance where you cannot have a privately owned dumpster rental business in the City of Dallas, meaning you cannot deliver cans to anybody who is within the City of Dallas. This does not mean that you can't deliver dumpsters in the surrounding cities, but it's good to know what you're up against and what specific markets. Like I said, every market is different, so just do your research. The second thing that I want to talk to you about is your business name. Now, I know this sounds silly. A lot of you guys might have already chosen a business name, but I think it's really important to choose a business name that will help you rank on Google, that will help you bring more customers. Sometimes it's better to change the name than to go down the road of having a name that doesn't help you for years, and you end up suffering the consequences of not having a good name. Now, I've ran into all sorts of situations where people own other businesses and they're trying to use that business name as the primary business name for the dumpster rental company. People that own demolition companies, people that own construction businesses or junk removal businesses, and they want to use that name for the entire business of dumpster rentals. There are a couple key things that we need to think about when we choose a name. Does the name make sense? Does the name fit the business category? Is it confusing to customers? Is it confusing to Google? So we're gonna go over some of the reasons why you wouldn't choose names and why you would choose other names. So when we talk about does it confuse Google, we're talking about does it use the words dumpster rental in the name? So for example, we could use my last name, Flores Dumpster Rentals. In Google's eyes, that is a branded name, and it's a name that also uses the keywords dumpster rentals. So it would be a perfect example of a good name, okay? A bad name, for example, would be Flores Demolition and Dumpster Rentals, or Flores Demolition and Dumpster. At that point, you're confusing Google as to what you are. You're either a demolition business or a dumpster rental business. If you don't know, Google actually works off of primary service categories. They let you add secondary categories, but those don't help you rank very much. So make sure that you don't confuse Google. You try and separate your businesses. So if you have a demolition business, dumpster rental business, or a junk removal business, any amount of businesses, you want to have them separated online so they fall into the right primary service categories. This will go a long way with Google, and it'll go a long way with getting more local work in your area. Now, when we talk about confusing people, we don't want to give people the option to not click on our listing just because of the name. For example, if you were selling watermelons, you wouldn't sell them on oranges.com. It would confuse the person. So the same exact thing applies here. If you're going on Google and you see 3 different businesses listed on there, and 2 of them say dumpster rentals and the third one says demolition and hauling, you're not going to assume that that third business is serious about dumpster rentals, or it's just not going to click in your mind right away. So you want to make sure that it clicks in people's minds right away that you're a dumpster rental business, that you have good reviews, and that there's a reason to call you. Now, the reason I'm telling you all of this is to save you headache down the road. There's a lot of people that will have to rebrand their business after watching this video. They've spent lots of money on branding, their equipment, and now they have to spend the extra money to make this change. So that's why I'm telling you this, is so you don't overspend and have this headache down the road. The third thing we need to cover now is marketing. Now, I know you guys are all thinking like, why hasn't this guy mentioned equipment yet? Like, we're just talking about all these other things. I actually believe that you need to have your marketing in place before you purchase equipment. You need to have the phone ringing before you make the jump to actually taking on payments or taking out a loan or just being in debt with a bunch of equipment that isn't making you money because you have no marketing in place. You could have 100 cans, but if you don't have customers or people calling you, don't have a business. So I believe that setting up your marketing first will go a long way. It'll save you a lot of stress. So believe me when we talk about marketing that it is very important. So let's go over some of the things that you should have set in place when we're talking about marketing. So when we're talking about marketing, the most basic things that you should have set up for your business is your Google My Business listing. This is the part on Google where you're actually allowed to create a listing that'll have your reviews, that'll have your business name, possibly your address. And I have created tutorials on how to create one of these listings the right way. There are a lot of mistakes you could make and I want you to avoid them. I will link that video down below or somewhere here on the screen. Please go and watch that if you have not set up your Google My Business yet. It's also free to set up, so everybody should be taking advantage of this. The next thing we need to talk about is website creation. Not all websites are created equally, but you do need one, okay? I think the biggest mistake I see are that you either created your website on a budget and you threw it up in 20 minutes because you have a GoDaddy account, or you hired a designer that does not understand how websites actually rank and show up on Google, somebody that doesn't know SEO, and those are the two most common mistakes that I see. When we're talking about website creation, we're talking about also ranking these websites. So what good is it to have a website if nobody can ever see it when somebody does a local search phrase like dumpster rentals near me or dumpster rentals Dallas, Texas? So it's really important that you set up a website that is gonna compete against all the local competitors in your area and that will actually be displayed online. This is probably going to be the most important thing when we're talking about growing your business, is how well your website is made, how well it ranks, how many pages it has. I have made lots of tutorials that explain what SEO is. I will link another video here on the screen about explaining how SEO works, and so that you know a little bit more about it. I'll also link it down below. Go ahead and watch that video, but I also think it's very important. If you need website creation or SEO services, that is one of our primary services that we offer here at Junkremovalmoney. You can reach me at 503-914-7250 or head over to junkremovalmoney.com. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about is having a CRM. There are a lot of businesses that have helped for years and they still don't have CRMs, and CRMs are very, very important to have set in place. This is basically what is going to manage your business, what software you're using to manage all your leads, all your deliveries, all your cans, everything. This will basically run your entire operation. There are a few reasons why you need a good CRM. You want to stay organized, you want to look and seem professional to your customers, and you want to collect data. Data is super important. The more data that you have, the more contacts that you have, the better your business will do, okay? So this does not mean writing these names and email addresses and phone numbers down on a piece of paper anymore. This means having them digitally on a CRM. That way you can retarget these customers. Imagine you've serviced in the last 6 years 10,000 customers and you would have all their phone numbers, emails, and names somewhere in a CRM. You could actually be retargeting them. You could be sending them email notifications that you're still in business if they need you. You could be sending them out text messages quarterly or monthly. This will actually really increase the revenue of your business. It'll keep you top of mind to your customers. And so a CRM is super important. And then the next thing that I just covered would be an email automation sequence. This means that you've set up emails that will automatically retarget and send out emails to your past client list, as well as a new customer list. And what I mean by new customer list is we're not talking about new residential customers. We're talking about the commercial side of dumpster rentals. So as a dumpster rental business, you're gonna be servicing roofing companies, concrete companies, warehouses, logistics centers, general contractors, property management companies, realtors, all sorts of different businesses, okay? And you could go out and manually send out emails to each one of these people in your city, but it is really, really hard and you're gonna get burnt out. So I've created a system where we send out thousands of emails a month to all the local businesses in your area on behalf of your dumpster rental business, and this goes a long way. I'll show here a text message on the screen of a campaign we set up yesterday for a client. They sent out some emails yesterday to local roofing companies, and within 30 minutes they received this text message of this roofing contractor wanting to schedule them for the next day to drop off some cans. And so this is the power of email automation. you can actually focus on the other side of your business while the emails are working automatically. And this is the best way to get more commercial accounts if you haven't tried it already. Like I said, we handle everything. We do all the email scraping, so we get all the emails, all the names of the businesses, and set up all the automations for you. If that's something you're interested in, my number will be here on the screen. My website will be down below and all my contact info. And now we're going to talk about choosing equipment. There is a lot of different ways you could go about this, but it is going to be mostly based on your budget. Everybody has a different budget. Everybody has different goals. And these goals and budgets could change down the road. It doesn't mean you need to be stuck with this equipment for the rest of your life, but here are the options, and these are the things that you should consider when starting to choose equipment. A lot of you guys might be starting this business because you have a junk removal business and you already have trailers. And so you want to utilize these trailers as roll-off dumpsters and go about it this way because you already have the equipment. And that's totally fine. You could definitely do that. You can leave trailers, just make sure that you're locking them up. Just remember that if you're gonna scale, trailers are a lot more expensive in the long run to have multiple dump trailers. They can be $10,000, $15,000 depending on the trailer and the size. The other thing you have to consider is locking them up, having GPS, because these trailers do get stolen. They're $10,000 just sitting in a driveway, you know? And so having good locks on these trailers is important. When I used to do this and I started that way, I used to use Fort Knox locks, and I will leave a link for them down below. They have really beefy locks that will help you protect your trailers. I also used to just take stickers from Home Depot and then just have the letters GPS put on each trailer on every corner. That way anybody that would think about stealing one would think that the trailer has GPS. If you know anything about GPS, it can get quite expensive to install lots of trackers on lots of trailers. So even having the words GPS labeled on each one, you know, could save you some money. And after delivering hundreds of dump trailers to customers as roll-off cans, none of them ever mentioned, why are you leaving a dump trailer here, rather than an actual roll-off dumpster. So it was never an issue. The next setup you could consider, if you already have a truck and you don't want to buy a roll-off truck, you always get a gooseneck roll-off dumpster trailer system or a bumper pull. And there are a couple different options here. If you went with bumper pull, you go with something like U-Dump trailers. They make a roll-off system out of Florida where it's a bumper pull, but you can drop off cans, I believe 10, 15, and 20 yards. If you want something a little bit beefier, you can go with something like Bison. They make a actual gooseneck system that makes heavier duty trailers, and they will go up to 30-yard cans, I believe. And so that is a good option as well. There's also cheaper options like Texas Pride. They make both variations of them and they are a little bit cheaper. Something I would consider before buying any cans from any manufacturer, these are the 4 questions I would be asking before buying equipment is, how much inventory does the supplier have of cans? How long is it going to take you to get them? How much are the delivery cost of the cans? And how much do these cans cost? Because this could start to really scale up for you. You could have 100 of them, and so even the $500 could make a big difference. Or just having cans in stock because your company is growing at a rapid pace is also going to be an important factor. And so the third system you could consider getting is a truck, a roll-off truck. Having a hook lift truck is going to be important if you want to have 30 and 40-yard cans. If you want to move more into the commercial space, it's going to be important for you to get one of these trucks at some point. There are going to be a lot of other fees associated with having a truck this big, depending on the city and state that you're in. There's going to be different rules for ODOT. There are going to be different rules for insurance, and these are other things you need to consider as well. So do not jump into such a big truck right away unless you really understand all of the expenses that are going to come with having a bigger truck like this. And so that's my list of how to start a dumpster rental business in 2024 and 2025. If you need any help growing and scaling your dumpster rental business, my information will be down below. And I appreciate you for watching. If you like content like this, I will be putting out more content that will help you scale your dumpster rental business. So consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.